For most people, the word budget instantly conjures images of restrictive walls, scarcity, and forced deprivation. It feels like a painful, necessary punishment, a financial prison sentence handed down by past poor decisions. This mindset is fundamentally flawed, and until you shift it, you will perpetually battle your own money. Stop treating your finances like an enemy you need to defeat every month, narrowly escaping bankruptcy just to fight the same war again on the first of the next. Your budget is not a cage designed to keep you trapped. It is unequivocally the precise flight plan designed to engineer your financial escape. It's the blueprint, the altitude limits, and the fuel calculation that ensures you reach your destination safely and efficiently. Today, we break down this prison mentality and start designing your personalized flight path to freedom.
The dread we associate with budgeting stems from a deep-seated fear of lack, often misinterpreted as a lack of discipline. We focus solely on what we can't buy, instead of what we can achieve. This defensive posture makes us resistant to the very tool designed to help us. When you view money as something that constantly slips away, you approach your budget with resentment. This resentment manifests in budget blowouts, those spontaneous purchases driven by emotional fatigue, where you subconsciously rebel against the perceived strictness of your own rules. This cyclical pattern guarantees failure. We must neutralize this emotional hostility. Remember, money is simply a neutral resource. Your budget is the system of rules you apply to that resource, ensuring it serves your highest objectives, not your fleeting desires.
The true definition of a successful budget is radical intentionality. It is not about cutting, it is about allocating resources to reflect your true values. If freedom is your highest value, then your budget must allocate funds towards investments and debt repayment first. If security is paramount, then savings and insurance are prioritized. A restrictive budget is one where you passively react to expenses. An intentional budget is one where you actively predetermine where every single dollar will go before it even arrives. Think of it less as counting pennies and more as drawing the map of your future life. When you intentionally direct your funds, you regain control, transforming the process from an agonizing chore into an empowering act of self-governance. This shifts the internal narrative from "I can't afford that coffee" to "I choose not to afford that coffee because I am prioritizing my long-term security fund."
Every flight plan begins with a defined destination. You wouldn't board a plane without knowing the runway it's aiming for, yet countless people manage their money without a clear goal beyond surviving this month. What is your financial destination? Is it achieving 6 months of emergency fund coverage? Is it paying off a high-interest credit card? Is it the precise amount needed for a down payment on a home in 3 years? Define these milestones not as vague wishes, but as concrete, measurable figures with firm deadlines. These destinations are your navigational anchors. Without them, every minor deviation feels catastrophic. With them, every decision becomes a simple test. Does this purchase move me closer to or further from my stated destination? If the destination is clear, the path, however difficult, becomes navigable.
Once the destination is set, the pilot performs a thorough inventory check. How much fuel is on board? What is the condition of the engine? In financial terms, this means knowing your exact net worth, income streams, and expenditure history. Many people skip this critical step because facing the reality of their debt or low savings is uncomfortable. But accurate data is the foundation of any successful strategy. You must audit every recurring expense, categorize spending habits ruthlessly, and calculate the true cost of your current lifestyle. This isn't about judgment, it's about collecting vital intelligence. If you overestimate your income or underestimate your spending, your flight plan will inevitably fail mid-route. Honesty here isn't a moral imperative, it's a logistical necessity for calculating the resources needed for takeoff.
To ensure adherence to the flight plan, you need consistent micro-habits. The first is the daily check-in. This isn't a 2-hour deep dive, it's a 5-minute ritual, preferably first thing in the morning or right before bed. Open your banking app, check your main accounts, review recent transactions, and confirm that you are still on track for the week's allocations. This continuous monitoring prevents the surprise expenses that derail months of hard work. By engaging with your money daily, you remove the power of emotional impulse and replace it with factual awareness. You treat your finances like a health tracker. Just as you monitor caloric intake or steps taken, you monitor cash flow. Consistency in this small habit builds financial muscle memory, ensuring the controls remain firmly in your hands.
A crucial tactic to combat impulse spending, the equivalent of hitting unexpected turbulence, is implementing the 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases above a set threshold, perhaps $50. When you see something you want, immediately stop, open a note on your phone, and write down the item, the cost, and the exact emotional reason you want it right now. Then, postpone the purchase for a full 24 hours. This temporal separation introduces critical friction between the desire and the transaction. In almost every case, the urgent emotional desire fades, replaced by rational assessment. This habit trains your brain to value your long-term flight plan over immediate gratification. It turns impulsive consumption into deliberate decision-making, ensuring that every dollar spent is truly intentional.
The greatest tool in maintaining a long-term budget is automation. The best pilots rely heavily on autopilot once the trajectory is set. You should automate your savings, investments, and bill payments to happen immediately after your paycheck lands. By setting up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts first, a principle known as paying yourself first, you eliminate decision fatigue and protect your most important financial goals from impulsive spending. The money you need for freedom leaves your checking account before you even have a chance to budget it away on disposable items. Automation ensures that regardless of your weekly willpower, your flight plan is executed with mechanical precision, freeing up your cognitive energy to focus on higher-level decisions, not on remembering due dates.
No flight is perfectly smooth. Unexpected expenses, job changes, or medical issues are financial turbulence. People often react to setbacks by abandoning the entire budget, feeling that one mistake voids the whole system. This is catastrophic thinking. Instead, view these events as temporary diversions. If you hit turbulence, you adjust the controls. You don't crash the plane. This is why the emergency fund exists. It's the shock absorber. When a setback occurs, first, use the fund as intended. Second, immediately reassess the next 3 months of the budget, perhaps temporarily cutting back on non-essential spending to replenish the emergency reserve. A setback is merely a data point, not a judgment on your financial character. Acknowledging the diversion and immediately course-correcting is the mark of a sophisticated financial director. One of the most destructive habits is attaching emotional value or self-worth to financial outcomes. A budget setback is not a moral failing. It is a logistical problem requiring a logistical solution. When we feel guilt or shame over financial missteps, we often hide the problem, delaying the necessary corrective action. Stop measuring your identity by your net worth or comparing your financial timeline to others. Comparison is the thief of financial joy and focus. Your budget is a private operational document tailored specifically to your unique income, debt, and destination. Adopt a clinical, objective perspective. Approach every financial decision, especially painful ones like cutting subscriptions or saying no to a social event, not with sadness, but with the cold, clear calculation of a CEO managing company funds.
The purpose of maintaining this rigorous, intentional flight plan is to eventually reach financial escape velocity. This is the point where your automated savings and investments begin to generate returns significant enough that your passive income covers a substantial portion of your monthly expenses, minimizing the need for constant struggle and micromanagement. This process requires patience and unwavering consistency. It won't happen in 6 months. It requires treating every daily check-in, every intentional purchase, and every automated transfer as a fundamental building block. Budgeting is not about sacrificing today for the vague promise of tomorrow. It's about investing today in a fundamentally easier, safer, and freer tomorrow. That consistent effort is the jet fuel that propels you out of the atmosphere of debt and dependence.
Your budget is the most empowering document you own, provided you see it for what it truly is, a meticulous plan ensuring your safe passage to financial freedom. Stop viewing it as a restriction imposed by external forces and start using it as the deliberate, powerful tool of self-determination it was meant to be. Design your destination, calculate your fuel, and stick to your daily flight checks. Financial escape isn't a sudden miracle. It's the inevitable result of following a well-defined, intentional plan, one day at a time. Take control of your trajectory starting now.
If this roadmap resonated with you and you are ready to treat your budget like the flight plan it is, then don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. We will continue this journey together.